Well, howdy there. I'm CL, and welcome to a brand new Critical Role recap. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, then hit the Bertrand bell to be notified of future videos. Now, without further ado, let's delve into the 13th episode of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. This episode was so much fun, you guys. I really love when Matt leans into the political intrigue stuff, and I love all of the threads that ran through this episode. Our heroes arrived to the ball with Daddy Esteros in tow and began their plan to replace Lord Treshy's ring. I find it so funny that the group all had a pretty solid plan last episode, and then it just went to shit. I feel like that's how it always goes with this group. Everything just goes out the window. Instead, they rely on sort of a mingling dance that's traditional to Dressar, a sort of art form in networking. However, after a lot of miscommunications and shitty rolls, it still manages to work out. Fern is able to pull the ring off of Treshy, and Imogen replaces it with the fake one. Our objective was complete. There was an interesting tension at the table. I feel like Group A and B were of separate hive minds, and you could really see Laura getting a bit frustrated, but I'm happy it all worked out in the end. We met and got to know a lot of interesting characters through this event. There's Lord Preston, who took an interest in Fern and Dorian, and turns out he was once Lord of the Quadroads in Vasselheim. This is the man Grog turned into a noble. I love the little Easter egg, and the expression on everyone's faces when they all found out was so good. I loved his sweet little interactions with Fern, and even though he was a bit creepy at times and a little too in your face, he's just trying to find someone to love, and I think we can all respect that. Do we think he left the Quadroads by choice? He was described as looking a bit tattered and worn, so was he thrown out of his position by some political scandal? Or maybe he just didn't know what to do with the status or the money and lost it all. I also love how dumb Dorian's hot brother is. Cyrus was told to keep a low profile. He has a mother effing bounty on his head, yet he shows up to one of the most important social gatherings for the city. He's partnered with the very creepy and standoffish Lady Enoth, who is revealed to be some sort of shade creeper vessel similar to Duggar, and I'm sorry, but I think we might be saying goodbye to Robbie in the next episode or two. Without a doubt, I think Cyrus might be dead. There are a lot of factors playing against him, and I'd be so surprised if after this big event we didn't walk away with some ramifications. I really enjoyed all the little character interactions too, like good old Copernicus and Maud. Did Imogen want to be Dorian's date? Was it a status thing she was interested in? Did she just want someone nearby in case her head exploded? Or did she think maybe her leading the conversation would lead to a better result? I do get vibes that she's probably more likely to be the spokesperson, even though Dorian has more of a political background and he's more of what would you call it, well-bred or whatever. He's of good pedigree. I sort of like the weird flirty vibe between her and Dorian because, do they hate each other? Is she mad at him? Do they want to F? Who knows? I really liked the character of Grizz that they met and how he approached Lord Esteros, and he's definitely how I'd like to be approached at a party by saying hey, I can tell you hate it here too, so let's hate it together. I really hope FCG talks to him a bit more, and I think maybe his expertise could potentially help him in the future. It would be really cool to see if maybe FCG was maybe a sleeper cell or an agent gathering information on humanity and politics for Devexian and Aor from Campaign 2. Then you have all of the stuff with Armand from the Paragon's Call. He's definitely in league with Volley, as we saw, and he's a follower of the Raven Queen and knows that Laudna is undead. He picked a fight with Ashton over his mask too. This guy is just asking for problems. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out next week, and I think the Ashton whole situation played out really cool, and I really like how Taliesin handled confrontation without it being confrontational. I also really want to pat Matt on the back and compliment him on balancing 8 players and several storylines and hundreds of NPCs, and yet everyone is still engaged and still knows what's happening and is still excited to see what's next. This episode was just so silly, it was fun, and yet there was a lot of nervousness and leaving everyone on the edge of our seats, and I just think it was a really cool episode. Who do you think the other members of the Quorum are? I loved reading your theories last week, so keep commenting on them so I can include them next week. I want to call out 2 theories I saw that I thought were cool from last week's video. Sky Oxford said, I wonder if Delilah is simply using Laudna as a temporary vessel until she can find a more suitable vessel and is not actually her patron. I think this is interesting. Delilah did have a clone of herself prepared in case she died, so is Laudna similar? I mean, I like this theory a lot, that maybe even Laudna is Delilah by extension. It's like a Lucian Molly thing where maybe there's a sliver of personality just not called for. While I don't think this theory is entirely true, I do think Delilah is her patron. I'm curious to see if Laudna can actually die. So would a radiant magic spell or a restoration break her? Would she be able to come back if she failed her death-saving throws? Or would she be automatically resurrected because of Delilah's ambition to return? Diana Williams said, I'm getting the same vibe as you from FCG. Some sort of hidden program turned him into a murder bot, then erased the memory. I just want to know more about him in general. Like, where did he come from? Also, the whole thing with him removing points once his memory was dabbled with, is it like a matter of time before he goes psycho again and murders everybody? And it's like his triggers are acting as a ticking time bomb? I need to know more. It's really interesting to see the characters that have kind of like put it all on the plate, like Laudna. Like, we know a lot about Laudna already. And then you have characters like FCG where you literally know nothing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for helping us reach 200 subs here on the channel. And it's so exciting, and I love talking about Critical Role with you guys. If you'd like to check out my other projects, I have a Let's Play channel with my friend Logan called Team Hyperfang. We're currently playing a Pokemon Diamond Nuzlocke. Then there's a pilot podcast where my co-host and I review pilot episodes of TV shows. The episode going up this coming Monday is a How I Met Your Mother, How I Met Your Father extravaganza. We even play Drunk or Kid. Finally, I have an album called Scorpio you can listen to now on Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you so much for watching. Stay warm out there. Good day, my friends.